Hey, what is going on? I am glad to see you. And guys, so why am I going live for another Let's Talk About It? Yesterday, I created a post all around labels, and it got me thinking. Yesterday, I asked you guys if you saw it on Instagram to think about what your labels have been and are they serving you? Because labels, regardless of what they are, and let's talk a little bit about what they are. So labels are identifiers. I'm wearing this trademark shirt because I know that there is a trademark version of you, and yet often as humans, are we living that? I would say no. We're living some version of who we have believed that we are supposed to be. And that can come from all these different places, including ourselves. Yeah, the labels we wear, ultimately what happens is, somebody brings it to our awareness, and then we make a conscious choice of whether or not to accept that as part of our identity. And it can be labels that are deemed, quote, bad, and it can be labels that are deemed, quote, good. What I have found in my experience in living as a human being is it's a lot easier to hold on and to buy into the negative ones. And here's the thing about all of the labels: whenever we've accepted a label, what it's done is it's created a sense of safety for us. You have learned to navigate life with whatever labels you're currently wearing. You've accepted that. And I talked about this in the video yesterday. To peel back a label, right? So I always use, like, we're going to a networking meeting. It says, "Hello, my name is," right? The moment you start to peel back any label that you're currently wearing, that can be scary. It can feel scary because what is it doing? Is bringing into question your very identity. And so who really wants to do that? Who wants to go around questioning, who am I? Who am I? What do I value? Those can be very challenging thoughts to have. And we all have them. And I want to use this "let's talk about it" as an opportunity to ask some questions and to get clear on what some of your labels are. So if you are open to doing it, I want to invite you to get out a sheet of paper, and you're going to make a couple lines. First, I want you to make 3 lines, right? So cut the paper into thirds, then across the top, the first column, I want you to put "my labels." And this can be anything that, when you think about who you are, it's labels that you've accepted. And they can be anything from a negative label, like the most common label that I think we all deal with, and the one that is the most powerful when it comes to holding us back and keeping us from being our trademark version of ourselves, is "I'm not good enough." I am not enough in whatever context that is. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I think that's probably the most common negative quote label that at some point we've all had. I've had that label, and it a label that continues to pop up, and that's why I want to do this, because being curious about what labels are currently sitting with you brings an awareness. And once you have an awareness, you can start to make different decisions. So, okay, we got that column, it's labels. Then the next column I want you to put is why. And this is something I work with during the loneliness solution. If you ever coach with me, this is something that we dove into, and this is a little bit different than how we did it during the loneliness solution. But I want you to ask why. So you're going to have a label, you're going to ask why. And so, why do I tell you to do it this way? Because the people that I have found that are the most connected are children. And what do they do? They ask questions over and over and over. And the more we ask why, the more we get down to the bare bones of what the reality of something is. And so when you do the why, I don't only want one why, I want three whys. And so you're like, Nathan, what do you mean? I want you to sit with your list of labels, however many come up for you, and I want you to do it until you feel like there's nothing left for you to talk about in the moment. So I want you to sit with your list of labels, the things you identify with. Then I want you to ask the question why. So if I'm not good enough, why is that a story? Right? So ask that question. Sit with that for a second. See what comes up for you. And then I want you to repeat the pattern. Once you have whatever that answer is for you, I want you to ask why again. And then you're going to repeat that one more time. So you're going to ask why 3 times and see what comes up for you. And then you're going to repeat that for every label that comes up as part of your identity. And so, okay, now we've got 2 columns filled in. Now I want to ask in the third column, I want you to ask yourself, who gave me this label? Who gave you the label? Whether it's not good enough, whether it's super smart, whether it's something like the good kid, the good daughter, the good son, um, whether it's artistic, I don't know what your labels are. But remember, they can be deemed bad or good. I don't care what they are because they're part of your story and they're part of how you are navigating the world. But I want you to ask yourself, who gave me that label? When is the first time you remember accepting that label? And who gave it to you? And why would I ask that? Because chances are, more often than not, that identity didn't come from you. Now, there may be some that do come from you. Like you're the first, that voice in your head, it started rolling, and you're like, yep, that's true for me. Absolutely, 100%. But I bet if we look down this list after you're done, you won't see your name nearly as much as you'll see that it's a story that came from someone else. You know, you've got it split into 3 columns now, but this, as we talk about it right here, right now, it's got me thinking about another very important question. And that is, so we know what the labels are, we know what you use to identify yourself, we know why now, we have some semblance of why you choose that identity, and you know where that story came from, right? And the next and probably most important question to ask is it true? Is that story true about you? And that's where something like the loneliness solution can be supportive, because you're not just doing the exercise by yourself, you're doing it with me, and you're doing it with a group of other people. And so, you know, the first time you do this, if you do it by yourself, the answer might be yes. a lot in that column. But if you do it with other people that you feel safe doing it with and having the conversation with, maybe they can show you where it might not be true. Because chances are, like one of my favorite coaches, Pierre Crone, he talks about this um, being good enough a lot, and he talks about labels a lot. And he says, if we cut you open, and as somebody with cerebral palsy, I've been cut open a lot, so I can relate to it. And I've got a huge scar on my spine. It goes all the way down. But he says, if we cut you open, would we find something that said not good enough inside? So picture like operation. Like there should be part of the game where instead of a funny bone or anything like that, it should be a label. And that label should be not good enough, because chances are, like I said, we've all dealt with that being part of our reality, and we felt that to some degree. So I just wanted to make this as an opportunity to open up curiosity for yourself. I would love to know, if you sit down and you do the exercise, what labels come up. When you dig into the three whys, what's the story behind the label? Who gave it to you? And ultimately, is it true? If you would love to talk about it with me, reach out, whether it's here on Facebook. If you follow me on Instagram, you can reach me over there. Or if you see this on YouTube and you want to reach out, leave a comment in the comments. Let me know, or send me a direct message, whatever works best for you. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I can't wait to be able to talk to you again.